What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist, and today I'm back to talk about Warhammer 40K and their collab with Magic the Gathering. We finally got some insight into the 4 new commander decks that are going to be coming out pretty soon, actually. So let's cut the BS and let's dive straight into the info. So Warhammer 40K is indeed getting 4 100 card commander decks pre-constructed and ready to use right out of the box, coming in August 12th. So we do have to wait a few months, but come July 26th, we have previews to see what the cards are going to be within the confines of these decks. And this is huge. I don't know about you guys, but I've been playing Magic the Gathering since high school, and in this 1 year hiatus that we took away from 40K on the tabletop, we've been playing Magic. So I am more than stoked to get a crossover of the two things that I love doing, playing card games and playing Warhammer 40K stuff, and it is chef's kiss. I don't know about you guys, but if you don't play Magic the Gathering, give it a shot. It's pretty fun. Combinations are endless. The lore for MTG is pretty cool too. Not as involved and epic as Warhammer, but it's still pretty cool. You got some awesome artwork on the cards, and if you've never tried it, hell, this is the time to try it. So here we go. Let's talk about the 4 different types of decks that we get to purchase. So these decks are none other than the Tyrannid deck. It is a 3-color deck, putting red, blue, and green all mixed together so you can play these Tyrannids. In my opinion, they're going to be fast, hard-hitting, something akin to Slivers, if you know how that deck plays. A lot of synergy between their models. Next up, we have a Imperium deck. This is going to be your Sisters of Battle, your Inquisition, Imperial Guard, Admech, Custodes, Sisters of Silence, and of course, Space Marines, all mixed into one. When I was making my predictions, I thought they were going to keep it just Space Marines, but them doing a mixed bag is awesome, because you get a little taste of everything, and it's the best of, all the worlds, I guess you can say. The colors for this one is that of white, blue, and black. I really do like that combination. It seems really epic. Because white, you can put a lot of tokens and whatnot, which I assume will be guardsmen. Blue is going to be the psyker aspect of it. And then black is going to be just the hard-hitting Space Marines, I would assume. But we'll wait and see exactly what is within these boxes. From there, we have a monocolored deck. The only monocolored deck out of these 4, and that is a black deck of Necrons. This was a little bit of a surprise for me, because I would have thought Necrons would have had some type of green to go with their playstyle, with the whole reanimation thing, but no, I guess reanimation is kind of a black mechanic, so interesting. And then the last one, it's none other than Chaos, a blue, black, and red deck. I think all the colors here work specifically for Chaos. It doesn't tailor to a certain god or faction. It's just kind of like the Imperium. It's going to be that mixed bag of Khorne, Slaanesh, Tzeentch. Hopefully they got some Dark Mechanicus, some Nurgle stuff in there. And of course, the only card that we have to see from this deck, because the other ones you don't get to see what their commander is. For this one, it's none other than Abaddon the Despoiler. So we have a look at his card here. He is 2 colorless, a blue, a black, and a red. So 5 mana to cast this 5/5 legendary creature, Astartes Warrior. He has the trample mechanic, so he can get over the little guys and still deal damage. He's got the Mark of Chaos Ascendant, meaning during your turn, spells you cast from your hand with mana value X or less have Cascade, where X is the total amount of life your opponent have lost this turn. Really great, because since he has Trample, he's going to get through guys and still deal damage. So let's say you have a 1/1 guardsman. He's going to cut through him and still deal 4 damage. Now you get to Cascade up to a mana value of 4. And if you don't know what Cascade means, it's basically you get to dig from the top of your deck until you get a card of mana value 4 or less, and you get to play on the field for free. So value right here. He does not have haste, so you can't do this ability right away, at least if he's, without any other synergy on the board. But I love it so far. Flavorful, because honestly, he's got Draconian, and Draconian can cleave through any type of armor no matter what, so Trample just makes perfect sense here. Another card that we do get to see from the Chaos deck is none other than Blood for the Blood God, an 8 black/red mana card that is an instant. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature that died this turn. You discard your hand and then you draw 8 cards. Blood for the Blood God then deals 8 damage to each opponent, and then you exile Blood for the Blood God. So, very flavorful with the whole 8. Obviously, that's the number of corn. So, it's pretty good, especially if you have a lot of, I would assume demons would be like the tokens that you create with this deck. So you spam the board with a bunch of demons, you cast Blood for the Blood God, draw 8 new cards so you refill your hand, and the chef's kiss at the end is you're dealing 8 damage to your opponents. Usually when you play Commander, it is a 4-way free-for-all, and that is a lot of damage being thrown around. So it's best to hold on to it and kind of be like an end game ability. Next up, we have a card for the Space Marine or the Forces of the Imperium deck, and that is a piece of artwork that we've seen so far. The Vanguard Suppressor, which is a 3 and a blue for a 3/2 Astarte Warrior. Kind of okay, I guess. I don't know why it's blue. That's a little different. I wouldn't expect this to be a blue card, but maybe it makes sense once you read the abilities. He has the ability Squad 2, meaning that as an additional cost to cast this spell, you may pay 2 times any amount of time. So, say you have 6 extra mana, you can tap that 6 mana, and essentially you're copying this card for that many times that you paid 2. So you would copy it 3 more times if you had, 6 mana to pump into it, which is pretty good actually, because you think it's just, 1 card's coming down. Nah, then you can get 2 or 3 or 4 of these. And these guys are going to be kind of evasive since they have flying, so they can just jump on over any defenders your opponents may have, and they'll be able to deal 3 damage. And if you do manage to deal combat damage to a player, you draw a card. So, a pretty good card nonetheless. I guess the whole trickery is that you can get over your opponent by having flyers, so I guess that's why it's a blue card. But I like it. I do enjoy it. And then lastly, we have a promotional card known as Fabricate. 2 and a blue gives you this sorcery, which once you play it, you search your library for an artifact card, any artifact for that matter, reveal it, you put it into your hand, and then you shuffle. This is pretty huge. I know there are tons of combo pieces you can do in Magic the Gathering, especially in Commander, and being able to find those pieces is insurmountable. So, right out of the bat, a staple card. Now, of course, since this is going to be all flavored for Commander, I could already see tons of artifacts that you'll be able to play. Maybe you'll be able to get the Emperor's Sword, or any type of weapon or piece of war gear that is found in any and all of 40K. The thing about these decks is that they're not completely new 100 cards made for this set. They're kind of reflavored to fit. So for example, when we look at Vanguard Suppressor, there's probably a card that is exactly this thing, just with a different name and a different piece of artwork that already does this ability. The one thing that I am heavily concerned about for this set is the price tag. Hopefully these aren't too expensive, because when you look at Commander decks, they're usually put out for about $40, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, but usually you're paying $40 for 100 cards. But since this is a special collaboration, they can always just pump the price up a lot, and I could see collectors buying these and holding on to them, and I'm pretty sure the price is just going to go up and up and up, because I don't know if they'll ever come back to do something like this. So hopefully they're not short printing these sets. Hopefully they're easy for people to get. Which, as I was looking for like feedback on how people feel about this, a lot of Warhammer players don't really, or at least the stream that I was watching that had the reveals playing, these people didn't really know too much about Magic. They were just like, oh, it's Warhammer stuff, let's cover it. And there's a lot of questions being thrown around, but it seemed like they weren't too keen or too excited about this. A lot of people in chat were like underwhelmed from it, but you gotta think of it as like this is meant for players of both games, because on the opposite spectrum, MTG players don't like these collabs, because there's been collaborations that have put like My Little Pony, Godzilla, Stranger Things, The Walking Dead. There's going to be a set coming out for Lord of the Rings that's all for Magic the Gathering, and that kind of takes away the immersion, the theme, the aspect of Magic the Gathering, and it's kind of just them being, I guess it's just Wizards, honestly. What it is they're trying to branch out to different IPs to get a different demographic, to get fans of those other areas into their game and spend money and buy these things. Because honestly, like the Stranger Things set got so much, negative feedback about it that they actually reprinted the cards for Stranger Things with the theme of like the set of Innistrad, for example. So if you don't know what Innistrad is, think of it as a like Victorian horror aesthetic with like werewolves and angels and demons and whatnot. So they took like the characters, like they had a card for 11, and they redid it in that Innistrad sense. So that goes to show you that these people were not buying the Stranger Things set until they made it available to get these cards with the same abilities with a different aesthetic. So again, we may never see another 40K set, so that's just going to skyrocket the price on these things, but we'll see. Hopefully they make more than enough. Hopefully they're fun to play with, because when you're playing a pre-constructed deck, like the power level is already set. And I don't know about you guys, but at least for me, I don't think I'll be mixing these decks in with my other Magic cards, because again, it's a clash of themes. Like I wouldn't want to be playing My Little Pony next to Abaddon the Despoiler. Like that doesn't make sense. So that takes me away from the immersion. So I'd say if you're a fan of this, buy all 4, play with your friends. For the most part, it's going to be quicker than playing a game of 40K. And like I said, my play group of 4 friends, we've been playing Magic the Gathering for the past year now. So really stoked, really excited to see these. And you can expect me to talk about them a little bit more in detail in the coming days. But for now, I just wanted to let you know what's coming, when it's coming, and what to look forward to. And I also want to gauge your interests. Are you guys excited for this? Is this a pass? Do you not care about Magic the Gathering? Do you want more of these things to come out? Again, let me know down in the comments below, and we'll keep the conversation going from there. Thanks for watching, guys, and as always, this is the Sound Alchemist, letting you guys know that a like, a comment, and a subscribe would be greatly appreciated. And if not, it is what it is, right? Sound Alchemist signing out. Peace.